All right, let's talk about that one thing that gives almost every business owner a little bit of a headache: filing GST returns. It can feel like this chaotic, tangled mess. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be? What if you could turn it into a smooth, streamlined process? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to walk through this gauntlet and get you from chaos to complete compliance. Seriously, if you've ever felt like you're just drowning in invoices, totally confused by the deadlines, or just plain worried about getting hit with penalties, you are definitely not alone. That stress is real, but stick with me because we are about to clear all that up and give you a super clear path forward. So let's just quickly get on the same page. What even is GST? At its heart, it was created to replace a whole bunch of old, complicated taxes with just one single tax. The biggest goal here was to get rid of something called the cascading effect, which is basically just a fancy way of saying tax on top of tax. Getting rid of that makes things way more efficient, and the final price you see is a lot more transparent. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the GST compliance challenge itself and then look at the really high costs of delaying. But then we're going to flip that and talk about the rewards you get for timely filing. After that, it's all practical stuff: your essential document toolkit and a simple error-free checklist to nail it every time. First up, let's talk about this compliance challenge. It's so easy to just dismiss GST filing as, boring paperwork, but it is so much more than that. It's a core legal requirement that's fundamental to how your business operates. And this, right here, is the bottom line. It's non-negotiable. If your business is registered for GST, filing those returns isn't optional, it's just a part of doing business. And get this, even if you had zero sales, zero purchases, absolutely no transactions in a month, you still have to file. So, what happens if you let it slide? Well, procrastinating on your GST has some very real, very painful costs, and they can hit your business right where it hurts: your bank account and your reputation. Let's start with the late fees. Now, 50 rupees a day might not sound like a huge deal at first glance, but trust me, it adds up incredibly fast. You can think of it like a small leaky faucet. Drip, 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 draining your cash flow day after day. But here's where it really starts to sting. On top of those late fees, you're looking at an 18% annual interest charge on any tax you haven't paid. 18%. That is a massive penalty, and it just eats directly into your profits. And the pain doesn't stop there. It's like a domino effect. Late filing can actually block you from claiming your input tax credits. That's money you're supposed to get back. It also puts a giant red flag on your account, making you a prime target for audits. And of course, it can seriously damage your professional reputation. I mean, just look at this comparison. It couldn't be clearer. On one side, you have late filing, which drains your cash, tanks your reputation, blocks your tax savings, and invites legal trouble. On the other, timely filing protects your money, builds trust, unlocks savings, and keeps you safely off the audit radar. It's a no-brainer, right? Okay, enough of the scary stuff. Let's shift gears and talk about the good side. Because being compliant on time isn't just about avoiding trouble. It's actually a huge strategic advantage that can make your business stronger. This is probably the biggest financial win. It's called Input Tax Credit, or ITC. Basically, it lets you get a credit for the GST you've already paid on your own business expenses. Filing on time is literally the key that unlocks this money, lowering your tax bill and putting cash right back into your business. And then there's your reputation. Believe it or not, every business gets a GST compliance rating. Think of it like a credit score for how reliable you are. A high score tells everyone, your suppliers, your customers, even banks, that you're a trustworthy and professional business to work with. And at the end of the day, it all comes back to your financial health. When you aren't just throwing money away on penalties and interest, your cash flow becomes stable and predictable. That means you can plan for the future, invest in growth, and just run your business without that constant stress of an unexpected tax bill. All right, so we've covered the why. Now let's get our hands dirty with the how. Honestly, the secret to stress-free filing is just being prepared. And that all starts with getting your documents in order. This is your essential toolkit. You've got your sales and purchase invoices, any debit or credit notes, your bank statements, and crucially, the correct GSTIN details for everyone you do business with. Here's a pro tip that'll save you a world of pain. Create a digital folder for each month and just drop these documents in as you go. It makes life so much easier. And now for the final piece of the puzzle. You've got your documents organized, so now you need a solid process. This simple 5-step checklist is your path to an accurate, error-free filing every single time. Let's walk through this. Step 1, reconcile. Match your purchase invoices with the GSTR 2A and 2B forms on the portal. This is where you catch mistakes early. Step 2, calculate your total tax after you subtract all your eligible credits. Step 3, verify. Double-check that every credit you're claiming is actually valid. Step 4, pay whatever tax is due. And finally, Step 5, file your return. And remember what I said earlier, even if you have 0 transactions, you must complete this last step and file a nil return. This quote really just sums it all up perfectly. It's not just about paying taxes. It's about showing the world that your business is professional, credible, and well-managed. It's a powerful signal. So, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. After all this, it's pretty clear that how you handle GST is way more than just a chore. It's a strategic choice. So, is your compliance strategy going to be a liability that drains your time and money? Or are you going to turn it into an asset that builds trust and makes your business stronger? The choice is entirely yours.